don't need much of it.
That meeting did it to me.
Yeah, I knew you'd be impressed, David.
Pledge allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What is your pleasure on the consent agenda? I'll move approval.
Second?
All in favor?
You'll notice it also includes the minutes from January 31st, which were not emailed to you.
The next upcoming board of selectmen meeting is going to be Thursday, February 9th. Do you just?
Is it the 9th or is it 23rd?
It's
Oh, it's the 16th actually. Today's the 9th. Hold on. Right, we have the 16th.
the
right?
16th, and what did we say after that?
March 9th and 23rd.
Yes. Okay.
So second and fourth Thursdays.
We will be changing March the 2nd and 4th Thursday due to conflicts on the 1st and 3rd Thursday. How did I get so messed up?
It's not difficult. Madeline, that's for you to sign.
Any comments from select board members, announcements? Suzanne?
I have a question. What is ADA compliant for like the opening doors and stuff? Do we know? Only reason that I had a very difficult time getting in and out on my cane.
Yeah, I cannot answer that. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's particular to the situation or whether government might be different, government buildings might be different. Generally, from what I understand, it means that you have that thing that you press that you can open the door.
If someone didn't hold the door for me,
Yeah,
I could not get in or out.
right.
So I'm just thinking, I think we should just look into what that is.
Mhm.
Because I know we have a resident who comes to meetings that also has a cane.
Right.
So-
And it's not just here, it's at the fire station.
Yeah, so just generically, what is, and I'm just, that automatic door,
Mhm.
I don't know if we could look into that, because I personally felt that,
Well, it would be good to
understand it.
We have an aging population and maybe not being ADA compliant makes it difficult for them to.
Yeah, no, I just,
It's compliant, but
I had a
It is,
whole,
but for
that side,
elections,
that
it's
side one is
tricky.
yeah.
well, even somebody going to the front door up here, they have to register the car. I don't know what, if we are compliant or not, or if that's just,
We're not.
but I just, I don't,
Maybe at the time that that entrance was designed, that might have been considered ADA compliant, but I find it hard to believe.
we should probably,
Yeah.
I took on a whole new perspective.
Maybe.
That was George H.W. Bush, so it's before ADA.
Madam, any comments, announcements?
No, I have no comment, I have no announcement. Until later, maybe I'll think of something.
Oh.
In which case I'll raise my hand.
Business item number 1, discussion and possible adoption of board and committee meeting procedures and contact guidelines for appointed officials.
I thought Sally did a very thorough job. I had one comment, at the place where, are listed boards, committees, extra copies?
Yes, that extra.
Boards, committees, and commissions, we do have a copy of.
I do not.
We often refer to, we often have things we call task forces, so that
I didn't know if they
that
had
is, or we would, I don't know if we
seen
have
that.
definitions.
What page are you on now?
Any of the places where it lists the members of boards, committees, et cetera, et
Some
cetera.
task force, just add task force.
To add task force to the kinds of public offices that are appointed.
Where is that, Madeline? I'm sorry.
Wherever Sally has listed the several boards, committees, and commissions, for example, on the top page.
Oh, okay.
On number 4,
Yeah.
we use task forces, so I think that should be added.
What commission do we have?
We don't have a commission right now, but we could. Some towns have conservation commissions, and that's been talked about. We currently don't have a commission.
It seemed to me that as the town grows and things happen, commissions might happen, and it seemed logical to leave that
We
there.
Yeah, or a Parks Commission. Those are usually the two.
The commission, we don't
Parks
have,
Commissions and Conservation Commission.
so is this gonna be part of the handbook?
I'm not sure what you mean by handbook. This is one of the policies.
But is it gonna become part of like the town handbook? Yeah. Do we?
It won't become part of the HR policy manual, and it won't become part of the committee procedures
It's a standalone.
policy. It's a standalone.
Should it not be in the committee procedures?
No, it should be separate,
Why?
because conduct is different than procedures. And Sally is also looking at them as different documents.
Does she have the handbook?
We don't have a handbook.
Does she have the employee manual?
She does not have that one yet.
Because I think we said we're gonna get it to her in like last June-ish. Can we get that to her to look at? Because I know she had a question about,
Yes,
Some of the
I will
language.
get that to her. She's working on other things right now. I'll make sure that she gets it.
Any other?
I like that there were ways in which concerns could be raised in an orderly fashion, and a way in which people would know how to raise a question.
Not sure.
what page are you?
On sanctions.
Any other comments? David?
If this is adopted, you're gonna, how are you gonna get it all committee members or whatever? How are you gonna distribute this?
It would be emailed.
But it calls for a signature.
No, I understand that. I'm not expecting to adopt it tonight. I'm not expecting to adopt anything tonight because Kathy and I haven't been able to coordinate our schedules with Darlene yet. So I think we need to wait until can do that before we adopt anything. And
So
I
it's
understand,
kind of an FYI.
yeah, I understand that the town attorney sort of set a deadline that we would have things adopted before the planning board meeting, but I don't think that's feasible.
And Darlene's already participated in a planning board meeting.
It's not that she hasn't
She
participated.
did, since this whole
Yeah,
concept.
we're supposed to have new policies and procedures in place before Tuesday's meeting, and that's really unreasonable.
No, but she
We
participated
know that,
positively in a meeting.
but we were
And
told
just-
to get this together before the next one, and
Time-wise,
It's
it's not
not
gonna happen.
realistic.
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
yes, John?
I have a question. Is there, I understand that this is guidelines for appointed officials. Is there another document that are guidelines for town staff?
We're appointed officials too.
So
So this isn't just for committees, this
No.
is for everyone?
Yes,
Okay. Because it,
and they'll be signing it also.
yes, that's my understanding.
So then if we're gonna add in task force, we should maybe perhaps put in town staff as well, so it's clear that it.
Right, there's some areas in here that address town staff.
On page 3. Well, it says conduct with town staff, it doesn't really say town
Right.
staff.
yeah, so you're saying that staff are appointed officials?
Yes,
Okay.
So I guess we need to word it somehow in here so it's.
I think we need to add,
I will check in with Sally and see
Okay.
what she suggests, because I don't want to change her document when she clearly believes that it addresses everybody.
what,
So
we
I
need to
will-
put in
I will
task
ask
force.
her.
Task force should be added, because it's another.
Oh, definitely, I'll put in task force, but before we change anything else, I don't want to change the meeting of her document.
Active listening, on the second page. It might be useful, considering the time we live in, to make, to consult with electronic devices. At some point. Reading for long periods of time or using electronic devices or gazing around the room, etc., gives the appearance of disinterest. Just wondered about that.
That's a good catch.
And I was going to suggest that we adopt the same guidelines for elected officials insofar as it pertains to municipal government. We can't do that for the school board, but similar guidelines, I think, would be appropriate for elected officials.
Sally reviewed the committee procedures policy and made a few tweaks
Okay.
to address some of the issues that we've run into recently. I think it's a pretty solid document.
Yeah.
And I have copies that I can hand out tonight for you to review. I'd like to put it on the agenda for the next meeting. We'll get that adopted. And that addresses a lot of the items that aren't addressed in the conduct
Okay.
document. So that might be helpful to have too. I didn't expect you to look at it tonight, but
Make it hard for the board.
If you don't have it, I think I take this one.
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
So it's intended to be comprehensive, so between the conduct guidelines, the policy on town committee procedures, and then when Sally gets to it, the HR policy manual. Those 3 documents should encompass everything that we're talking about. That's the intent.
Until we come up with something new.
Right, and hopefully we don't. The only other item that Sally mentioned that might be a possibility is if individual committees want to get down to brass tacks about how they want to run their meetings and what's expected of the meetings, that the committees and boards could adopt bylaws. So if they wanted to do that, that would be another separate document.
That makes sense.
But that would be
In addition
for the
to-
committee itself.
Right.
I think we kind of touched on this at a previous meeting about the videotaping policy and having the meetings videotaped and posted.
That's in the committee procedures.
Is it, do you know, I'm kind of curious, just, I'll get to it with you, is everything going to be videotaped?
That's, if you guys make a motion in a meeting that everything will be videotaped, then it will. Until we get to that point, I don't know, that's up to you.
I thought Sally made a,
But no, there was no formal motion made in the public meeting, so that needs to happen before.
it would need,
She was making an
Observation.
observation and a recommendation that it be
But it should be on,
taped.
that
But
should,
in order to make it official, this board really needs to vote on it.
and I thought, and I don't know if anyone else, but I sit on the planning board, and I thought Carly said that Sally,
Sally did mention it,
Right, Sally spoke with me after the meeting.
and Carly provided the statute that says that meetings can be recorded.
can be, not mandated.
Right.
the videotaping should be an agenda item, I would think.
I think so,
Yeah, so that maybe.
because we
put
need
that
to
on-
make these items official.
So we put that on, can we put that on the 16th?
Yes.
I guess while we're on committees, I know the road committee submitted, are we gonna get back to putting that on an agenda? Because I
You
submitted my
mean road
questions.
committee
The
meetings?
road, well, we were requested to submit topics that I sent in, and we were supposed to address that. At least I sent mine in.
I still haven't received the recommendations of the road committee. I know Jeremy said he was gonna get some to me. I still
thought
haven't
Well,
seen
Jeremy
it.
said he would be absent for the entire month of February, which is why we haven't dealt with it.
Well,
We
let's
need
at
to
least
wait
get it on
until
the-
Jeremy gets
No, no,
back.
Sorry, I thought Jeremy said he sent that.
He did, but I have not received it.
Huh, okay. Yeah, Sandy.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
Is
what
someone
you're
putting
talking
sand in
about.
their sander from our,
He had some information he was gonna send to me.
they're not taking from the sand company?
Oh, about, yeah,
Yeah, I
I don't
have
know.
not received any.
Just
okay.
make sure they're not loading up a sander at our shed.
It's not open. Hmm?
Maybe it's garbage garden.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they're just late today.
Sorry, maybe Travis.
Oh, it's a recycle guy, it's hydraulics dumping. Okay.
So, well, we should plan on at least putting it on agenda or future agenda item.
I would like to connect with Jeremy first to make sure he can make the meeting.
Makes sense.
So can I circle back to the videotaping again? Because I thought that the planning board was mandated that we had to videotape our next meeting based on what Carly had said. So now I'm confused. So you're saying that we don't have to? We were going to vote it in this month anyway. We had talked about it last time. Everyone was in favor except for Jim wasn't present, so we wanted to just wait, give him the respect of just his opinion on it. It's gonna go through either way because of the count on the vote. And that was our intent. But then we were told that it was decided. So,
As Christine said, we did not have a motion, we did not have a vote, but it was highly recommended by the town attorney. So it
Oh.
seemed to me that if the town attorney recommends it, then a vote is pro forma, but we can't mandate it until the vote's taken.
right,
Can I
and
speak to
we were
this?
there, we were going to do
I'd like
it,
to
it was
speak to
just
this.
waiting for Jim. So,
So I spoke with the town attorney after the meeting. She strongly recommended that we record the meetings. When I said it was decided, what I said was that I made the decision that I will be recording the meeting. I provided the statute because the public is allowed to take meetings. Anyone could come here tonight with a video camera and post it online at their free will. So I have made the decision. I hope that's not making anyone uncomfortable. I certainly did not do it with the intention to disrespect the planning board. I'm doing it on the recommendation of our attorney.
Makes sense to me.
I'm not opposed to it, I just want to make sure we're following procedure. I actually would have brought it up, that we should do it. So I'm in favor of it.
And it's really something that this body
Well,
votes.
that's what I'm trying, I guess I was confused, because it sounded like the attorney said it was gonna happen, and now it's really up to us. So I just wanna make sure that we procedurally follow the right path, is my point. That's,
is that something that the planning board can vote on, or do you have
We
to
vote
vote
on
on it? Whether they're
Oh, you can
videotaped?
form it in your own bylaws, but then I think we would do it also so that it wouldn't be undone at another vote if the planning board decided they no longer wanted that in their bylaws, so.
So how, oh, sorry,
No,
Dave.
go ahead.
I'm just curious how we should proceed now, because it was a done deal except for asking Jim about it.
So what I'm hearing, we'll take a vote at our next meeting.
or we can vote it in tonight, could we not?
No, it's not on the agenda.
It hasn't been on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda, I mean, that doesn't mean that you cannot do it. But I think the meeting is gonna be recorded anyway. Because if a member of the public wants the meeting recorded, it's going to be recorded.
So do you just want to get this done and take a vote tonight?
I think we
So
should.
we're all on the same.
Well, just, I think that way we can follow what we believe our process would be as the board, as a select board, I think we need to make sure that we, as a town and community, follow procedures, which is what got us in the hot water.
And before you make your motion, think about whether you want it to apply just to the planning board or to all town committees, or what you want that motion to be.
Should be all.
I think everything.
Okay.
Who's responsible for video the meetings?
Staff.
When you say staff, can you elaborate a little bit more?
Whoever's taking the meeting minutes
Yeah, an employee of the town.
is always
Okay,
there,
So whoever's taking the minute.
and there's always a staff member. at
And
every
it says
meeting.
that in the committee procedures policy. Sally put that in.
No.
Why is that not good?
No, the budget doesn't have staff.
Budget doesn't have staff, it's not.
I'm the staff.
Yeah, I know, it's just, it's,
I just think I think we
it's
need
the
to,
world we're in.
it is.
Yes.
So I move that we, as a town, as a select board, have all publicly sponsored meetings, committees, task force, and boards, that they are videotaped and posted to the website soon thereafter for the community to be able to view at their leisure. So what's a normal time frame to post that, Carly? 3 days? 3 days? I don't know what the timeline is.
It's typically, 48 hours.
So I'll change it to that the meetings are posted within 48 hours from the conclusion of the meeting.
You want to read that? I just want to make sure we're not forgetting anything.
Well, I didn't get it verbatim, I'm hoping to
Okay.
get it off the recorder, but Suzanne has it, the select board has all publicly sponsored meetings, committees.
Task force.
Right, videotaped and posted to the website within 48 hours.
I would just suggest that we amend that to just simply say all public meetings.
So workshops also, just to
Public meeting.
verify.
Any public meeting.
We're all satisfied with the way it's?
Mm-hmm.
I second that motion, all in favor?
Thank you for the clarity.
Any more discussion around adoption of board and committee meeting procedures and conduct?
I think we're in the initial review of them all. I actually like to expedite the HR manual into this approval process so that it all happens kind of collectively at the same time. That's predominantly done, is it not? So it's just her reviewing it.
Yeah, it's written, it just needs to be reviewed. I'll send it to Sally and she can fit it in where she can.
It just
John and I
makes,
are keeping her very busy.
it just makes sense to have it all in this scope.
All set?
I'm all set.
This is an easy one.
Any public comment?
Sorry, of course.
Is it on the other thing?
It's on these committee meetings.
Okay, can I just ask one thing first, please? These are not adopted yet. Is it possible to get, is now the time to get a copy for the rest of the planning board members to review, or not that they're gonna make comments on it, just so that we know what's coming down
I think
for, or
I
do you
think
wanna wait
Sally
till the point?
intended for Kathy and I just to talk with you first. I think we should get that done to
Okay.
satisfy what Sally suggested.
And these aren't adopted yet anyway, so we're
Yeah,
gonna
and
share
get them
them.
out.
Okay, all right.
Because we might,
You have some big thing here that's really not
Yeah,
gonna,
and-
we wanna talk about.
yeah, we might make some changes based on our conversation with you.
Right, and we've got 2 new members, and so like this is really good for all of us to refresh what's going on, what should be going on, sort of thing, so that's good. I just wanna wait, we'll wait until we're all set, and then I'll just make sure that we review them.
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect, sorry.
Well, if that's the case, then all the current committees should be given time to weigh in. That slows the process down.
But we can, yeah, but I think it's okay to give a short time frame, you know, just so people don't procrastinate because we give them too much time, give them a period of time, so that if something jumps out at them, you can consider it.
Sorry.
Between
We
now
could
and
post this
16.
online too and see if anybody wants to put any comment.
Oh, I didn't mean for them to comment on it.
No, I'm just
have
saying,
it, We're supposed to be doing that.
If the other committees saw it, I mean, meeting with the planning board, I think is a little bit different because you guys meet every month. Some of these committees don't meet every month yet. They do have a right to see this, yet
Right,
it becomes a little bit more complicated.
But I do think a short window for submitted comments, or we presume you accept it as presented.
Yeah.
okay, so maybe I do want copies for the guys on
Yes.
Tuesday.
It's not ready yet,
Okay,
that's not ready.
No,
you talking about after,
you're right.
never mind. Sorry.
Perry, do you wanna?
I'm trying to figure out how to ask it. So it makes
Just as
reasonable
blunt
sense.
as you can.
Yeah.
Time's over, we're getting ready to.
Time's up. No, I was just wondering, it wasn't addressed, committee members, reasonable expectation for meeting accomplishments. There was, one thing I read in there is that you're open and unopposed in the conduct. But I think we should have reasonable expectations to accomplish something in a timely fashion. You understand what I'm trying to ask?
I do, we did talk about it. I talked to the town about some of that, again, until we talk to Darlene, we don't really wanna put a whole lot out there.
Okay. Okay.
It's just, out of fairness, I don't think it's right for us to.
Come to any conclusions.
Right.
I need to say, Carrie, that you would like some language that says that boards, committees, task forces, commissions, et cetera, are expected to do something?
No, I like, and I just draw on personal, the way I think about it. I go to a meeting expecting to get something accomplished. That expectation is what, here's the item, discuss it, vote on it, get it done. Here's item 2. It doesn't address reasonable expectation and timeframes. I realize there's a lot of information that has to be gathered.
So I think what we need to do is really, when somebody says they're gonna get somebody something, to put a time frame on it. You'll get this by.
Yes,
so
there's two
that-
sides.
Right, so
exactly.
that when we come to a meeting, we have all the information and can act on it. I find a lot of times we just don't have the information and can't act on it. And I'm not saying everybody isn't busy and some of it's not accidental, but I think what pushes it out there. So I think a lot of times we leave here and say we're gonna do this, that, and that, with no time frames.
I typed up Scott's report and gave him.
Yeah.
You got that right, Christine? My Excel spreadsheet for Scott's roads.
But even us, we don't give us time frames sometimes.
I don't recall getting it.
I totally sent that in.
Yeah. Okay, I just noticed it wasn't addressed, and
Yeah, so
I do
maybe,
know that things that get carried on and on and on, it's like, oh, God, I'm gonna bring
Meeting,
that up
meeting
again.
efficiency, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
yeah,
so,
and some of that's all in how we, again,
information gathered and
right,
given.
because like with the town and Darlene, it was supposed to be by the next
Mhm.
planning, but that was really an unrealistic expectation. It was really, you're asking somebody to do something that,
Especially when applications are in and you can't pause those,
Right.
you gotta keep
so
that going.
I think we have to be careful too, and when we set timeframes, make sure it's realistic.
Okay.
If I say to you, I want a list of whatever, I want a list of every crack in
Yeah.
Foster's Point by tomorrow, it's just not realistic.
Go out there with some hot paint and find them.
On the other hand, even though these have not been officially adopted, there's, I don't think anything in here that should offend anyone, so they could certainly be used as an informal guideline until such time as they are actually passed.
Yeah, it was a.
I think we need to wait until they're finalized, because there's things that are gonna be potentially added to this that we don't have.
I think if we just remember to be kind until, and after, and forever, that things will work themselves out. I think that sometimes in the heat of the emotions and everything, we regret some decisions and things we say, when if we just keep in the back of our head, be kind, be kind, be kind, and we can get through any of this. I think COVID, I don't know what COVID did to us, but it did something to all of us. We can disagree.
We're never gonna figure that one out.
Any other comments? Do you, before you leave, do we want to try to set another time?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. I left my
Email and.
home, which has all of my schedules on it.
Okay, why don't you email Christine and I, and then we both can respond, and hopefully the times will
Sure.
just, because we got some meeting changes.
Yeah, I'm
added
sorry,
From Saginaw.
I don't ever leave without it. I'm not sure what happened tonight, but we were in a hurry to not leave.
Any other comments?
As we're discussing timelines, if we're not going to have this done, can we set a deadline for getting it done?
I think that's a great idea.
I think we should do that for everything that we try and move forward, is put an expectation.
Well, we
Would like
have,
to see it.
we have the essential paperwork that was done for us, so can we get our amendments done and possibly ready for the 16th?
The only hesitation I have in that matter is that if we don't have the meeting with Darlene, I wanna make sure that we, because I think that may change perhaps how some of this is written or presented. Hopefully that'll happen in a timely fashion, but I don't wanna.
Well, I
So I'm more comfortable with the first meeting in March, actually.
I just wanna keep it.
I understand this is important and we want to get it into place as soon as we can, but I'm afraid that if we don't leave everybody enough time to weigh in and make changes and have Sally review those changes, I think we would be back to square one. And none of us have the time to go back and amend these items.
But I think anything that we should try and put a realistic timeline on any
What's
of
our
our
first
stuff.
meeting in March again?
The 9th.
The night.
March
I
9th.
mean, it's a little bit late, but.
So I want to try for March 9th.
Okay, as long as we have.
Let's not try, let's say March 9th. It's a
March
drop-dead
9th is
hard
doable.
timeframe.
Yeah,
And
So when are we gonna get it out to everyone to review then in advance?
it depends when we meet with Darlene.
So let's shoot on getting this out on March 2nd to all the committees. They have a week to review it prior to us making a final on March 9th. Shoot for is the goal. Have a boundary. So that's, I think we need to start assigning deadlines to our stuff. Which is still 3 weeks away. Just saying.
that's a long time.
Hopefully by then, the broadband task force will have internet. It's this close. They've run the wire.
I would eventually like to see us have it so that if people want to interact via the internet or something, that they could participate in these meetings too, not have to
Oh
be here.
my,
We have an idea for that.
oh my.
It's right around.
Viewing port? Just a portal to view the meetings?
And
Sure.
comment, participate,
comment.
actual
Oh, no.
participate.
You don't want comments coming from home.
Well, you can shut someone off
Yeah.
if they're misbehaving.
But actually, I've attended a couple of other meetings and it's really gone, Bath does it that way in this.
Yeah,
People will be.
they use Zoom. Yeah.
Use
And I agree, I think it's a great way to keep our community involved. You know, it's just,
Something.
as we come out of COVID, I think I miss the face-to-face. I think a lot of people now that, we feel that we're back to a normal.
But some people really enjoy that, you know, all these people that don't wanna go back to work and don't wanna get out.
But they can still
That
participate.
social isolation and.
Kathy, I just have one question about the lady that had all the erosion on her lawn. I saw the video that Nick sent. Has anything further been accomplished with her?
I talked to Jamie, I talked to John, because he had to offer his. It's difficult because they agreed that it's a little bit of, when she put the extension on the garage, she put it where they had the water running. They had created a new flow for it. And she built the garage right there, so it's gonna keep going there. And they said it's because of that addition.
But I thought the water from this previous storm was because it came over the top of the culvert, not through it.
Well, there was so much volume. We're
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah,
it
that
was
was.
it was a 500-year storm, if not more.
Right,
And
yeah,
those,
so,
It was big. It was 3.4 inches. of
3.8.
in an hour or so.
they
It
weren't
wasn't
sure
very bad.
another
Yeah.
larger culvert would help or cause more damage, so, do we have the answer? No.
Okay.
Is that because the water is going down to the waterfront? I mean, would that make sense to bury another culvert and direct it, because it's gonna go there anyway? I mean, it's like,
That's doing town stuff on public stuff on private property. And the culvert,
The culvert did have some blockage, but I think it was because
Culvert
of
is
that.
her culvert. as
No,
I
it's the town's
understand.
culvert, it's under the town road, is it not?
Any culvert that does not have 3 feet of cover is gonna freeze in the winter. It will
But is
freeze.
it, if a culvert
Sorry.
goes under a
I
town
don't know
road,
what it
is that not
is.
the town's culvert?
If it goes under the town road, it is, yeah.
That's the
It
town's
didn't-
culvert.
It didn't freeze, it was just the volume.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you added another culvert down by her house and it wasn't deep enough, that would freeze and it would do the same thing, I guess is what I was just trying to say. The top of the culvert has to have 2.5 minimum, 3 feet of dirt over it that you're not plowing and driving over, or it will freeze. So you
So-
can't put like a shallow or something
No,
under.
no, I was
so-
thinking, I mean, it's,
In
I mean,
general.
and it's hard to see from the pictures that were in that presentation.
So if you
but it's-
decide that there's water going down by your garage, and you decide you wanna add on to that garage, are we responsible when it floods?
No, I was talking about just directing it away. If it's a
They did direct it away, and then she built over it.
Well, there's another case in point on, where Reno's did that big box culvert on,
Sabino.
Sabino. That waterway, they had erected a dam to listen to the water flow. Well, that backed up and caused massive hydration issues. I mean, and it was discussed, where's the town's implied responsibility for maintaining our roads? I mean, in theory, if our roads cause erosions into the ocean,
That's one thing, I'm
Yeah,
wondering if it's a
it's-
DEP, I mean, we're putting
I
that
don't-
off
I
into
don't
the,
know,
I don't
I
know what
just-
that, because I know that's a big deal.
yeah.
Also, I mean, it doesn't need to go through
Yeah.
a stone bed to get the silt, I don't know.
There's a lot of history to this issue. It goes way back. It's not simple.
And
Second.
everybody's talking about it, and the consensus is really that there was too many additions after, so I don't know.
It's been,
I don't know if
it's
it's
been
more
an issue
that
for years, and it's been,
road committee wants to discuss or what.
I think we need to bring it to, if it's been a recurring issue, then it needs to be put formally
not
to rest.
on the town's part.
Yeah. The problem being is now that all that water has made a new waterway, it's gonna be difficult to even deal with it now timeframe, and should we even be dealing with it
Right.
as a town?
That's my point, if the town is not responsible, we should have a definitive statement that the town's not responsible.
She's had a statement made a number of times.
But it's not legally, like a definitive legal,
How do you know that it hasn't been done in a legal way?
has it been?
If she has been informed.
It's informed by past boards, I believe, which should be in the minutes at some
So
point.
maybe what we need from the people, from Nick and from Jamie is maybe a statement from
Something.
them.
That puts it definitively to rest. Maybe it goes on the tax card or something that was attached to the file, so when we're all not here next time and it comes up, it's there.
It won't be definitive. There'll be
Yeah,
other
I-
storms, and the question will come up again, because there have been other storms, and the question has just come up again.
And I wouldn't, I just say whatever, but it seems like some group got together and discussed this and,
Several times, I believe. First time, I think I've been on the board for a year or so.
I think in some ways, John can be pretty opinionated, but I think sometimes he has the history.
Probably helped with the coloring.
He probably did put the culvert in, if truth be told. But again, I don't know where you wanna go with that issue, I don't.
Well, if we have,
I don't
we
want
have,
to go anywhere tonight because it's not on the agenda.
But I'm just wondering, is it something you want on the agenda coming up?
And
or-
eventually, when we're ready to talk about the road issues, yes.
well, we should try and research when the document was last drafted then, in the history of that, if it came from the board.
Well, we probably need recommendations from,
Yes. From a lot of people.
Well, Nick was saying that he would like to wait until the spring to really look at it.
Yes. Makes sense.
So I think that it would probably make sense to wait a little while to resolve that particular issue.
This is one of those things, if we jump too fast, we're gonna be jumping for things that aren't our responsibility, like Barry's Mill.
And we do not want to accept that as our responsibility
Right.
unless
No,
it
but
totally is.
If we have a document that was officially prescribed years ago, we should revisit it.
Do we have did the meeting get set up with DOT or?
No, I haven't heard from Allison.
Anything else? I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? David, why didn't you chime in?
I'm all set.
See you in a week.